Hello there. Today I watched the new dramatic thriller Aporia and now I want to tell you about it. Written and directed by Jared Moshe, this film follows a couple, Sophie and Malcolm, played by Judy Greer and Edie Gathegi. Sophie and Malcolm are madly in love, but when a drunk driver kills Malcolm in an accident, Sophie is left devastated and alone. As a single parent, things are incredibly difficult for her, and when a friend of Malcolm's shows her his time machine, Sophie is presented with an impossible choice. The story is a somewhat cliché look at the consequences of time travel and how a group of people react to its use. Sophie and Malcolm are the lenses through which we view the story, and we see the two of them and their friend Jabir, played by Payman Mahdi, go on an emotional journey while using this device. You might be rolling your eyes at this being another time travel story, but they have their own unique little twist on it. In Aporia, the characters don't actually time travel. They affect events in the past in order to shape the future. This leads to unintended consequences and causes a ripple effect throughout the universe. The story is fantastical in nature, and the science they present in the film isn't accurate, but the writer stays within the rules he created. As long as you don't think too hard about the science and what else they could have done with the machine, you'll be able to follow along easily. As for excitement, this film provides a lot of deep emotions and does a good job of turning every black and white situation into a rainbow of grays. If you like think pieces, there's a lot going on, but the emotional cycle is a bit repetitive. It involves going through extremely happy emotions, discovering something sad, wallowing in it for a bit, and then hitting another big high before the cycle repeats. The characters are also somewhat stereotypical and are limited in personality. The ending is predictable and cliché. The story has a lot of good emotional development from the three main characters and tackles a nuanced issue in an interesting way. Cast-wise, there are two great performances here from Judy Greer and Edie Gathegi, a great but short performance from Payman Mahdi, and a few solid supporting characters. They are played well, but they only get a few lines and a minute or less of screen time. Judy Greer plays Sophie, and she does a fantastic job of showing off her grief. She looks physically exhausted during the first part of the film where she is a single parent. She plays the transitions incredibly well, and I constantly found myself caught up in the emotional aspects of her performance. The scene where she tells her husband the truth was especially well done. Edie Gathegi plays Malcolm and makes a short appearance at the start before disappearing. When he reappears, we see him reacting to what his wife and friend have done, and then joining them in their journey. Gathegi does a fantastic job of showing off Malcolm's internal struggle, especially when he's reacting to his wife telling him the truth. Payman Mahdi plays their scientist friend Jabir. He does some good emotional work alongside Greer and Gathegi and shows off decent chemistry with both. His character does have a few good emotional moments in which he shows off, but his character also doesn't get as much time as the other two. The visuals are where the real problems with Aporia start. The visual journey is shaky and bland and doesn't have anything stand out to show you. The entire film looks like it was filmed during an earthquake, and they didn't use a tripod once. If they had a stabilizer on that camera, it wasn't turned on. On top of that, they use basic, bland sets and costumes, and everything is dimly lit. The time machine is just a collection of junk thrown together with some wires in between to make it look more authentic, and when the machine affects their world, all that changes is the color of a person's shirt or an item goes missing from the previous shot. It's subtle and doesn't have a big impact. They do catch some good emotional moments here and there, but it's not enough to make up for the rest of the lackluster visuals. The film struggles sound-wise as well. The dialogue is often quiet and hard to hear, and when the actors fail to project properly, it can be downright impossible to make out what they're saying. On top of that, they have these loud, simplistic background instrumentals that end up competing with the dialogue often. The background instrumentals come in two basic varieties: dark and mysterious and happy and wondrous. There is no in-between, and there's only one original song in the film. It plays on the radio for half of a second. The background instrumentals end up feeling repetitive by the end of the film, and I found them blending into the scene often. They don't stand out or have much of an impact beyond creating a bit of atmosphere. Overall, Aporia was an okay time travel movie. The story is a little bit cliche, but it has an interesting twist in it. The characters develop well, but are kind of generic. Cast does a fantastic job, but only two of them get a real chance to shine. Visually, the film's easy to follow, but it's not fun to watch because of its flaws, and it doesn't have any interesting visuals to offer. Its soundtrack isn't great either. If you want a think piece with some good acting in it, give this one a try. Otherwise, pass on by. As for a rating, I'd give this film a 5 out of 10. Remember, these are just my thoughts on the film. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Bye-bye.